Hello, everybody. Welcome to a History Made Awesome series. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call the name of this series. Wait, before I tell you guys a bit more. So what I kind of want to do with this series is you've seen me play Epic Paradox Grand Strategy game before here on History Made Awesome with Ben called Europa Universalis 4. This is another one made by Paradox. This is called Victoria 2, and it's the Heart of Darkness expansion for it. There's two expansions for it. So what I kind of want to do with this series, or with Victoria 2, is kind of like give a different way of like telling like history, I guess you can say. So I think the Paradox games do like a very awesome job of like kind of allowing you to play a sandbox experience within a certain time period. So like in Europa Universalis, the fourth game in that series, they take you through the Renaissance, up to the 1600s and into the 18th and early 19th century. In this game, it's a little bit older than Europa Universalis 4, so the graphics may not be so awesome. But the game itself is really good. So Victoria 2 takes you through 1836 all the way up to the First World War and into the interwar years, so 1920s, and ends around 1929, I believe. So what I'm gonna kind of do is play this game in like a normal, I guess you can say, game play thingamajig. I forgot what to call it. But besides just playing the game and commentating on what happens, I just want to give maybe a little bit of history on the 19th century, which was a very important time for the world history, especially world history, and kind of helped set up the 20th century and kind of everything else that come after that. So let's kind of get into it and see how this is gonna go. So what I was thinking about of all the nations to play, I haven't played this game in a long time. Funny enough, this is the first game that, in terms of Paradox games, that I actually played, and was it a doozy to learn? It's a very complicated game. It takes lots of practice, online looking, and trial and error, and you eventually get it. So I've played Prussia before. That was fun. I've actually only played Prussia. I was thinking about doing a France game, but I think I want to do something that's very unique in terms of gameplays for this game. A lot of people play the UK, France, the Russia, all these big nations, Denmark even. I've not seen a lot of people do Spain. I've seen some people do Spain, and I think what will be good is that with Spain, we get a very you get a very unique view of European history and also world history as well. Of course, I'm not going to recreate history because Spain does not stay a world power throughout the 19th century. And even though it starts as a great nation, a great power within this time period of 1836, it really starts to degrade as time goes on. And I'll kind of give you a history of that as we kind of go through. And also just a history of, the 19th century in general, I'd say. So we're looking right now at the world in 1836. And the reason why the game does 1836 is because in a couple of years, I think 1838 or 1842, I forget which year it is, Queen Victoria becomes queen in the UK. So that's one of the reasons why it takes place in 1836. There's a couple other mods out there that start earlier, but I think this should be good for us. As you can see, the world in 1836, this kind of takes place after the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars, and even says right here, we'll read it, the ideals of the French Revolution were believed to have met their final demise at the hands of the Entente regimes of Europe. The flames of revolution may have been put out for now, but the ideas of nationalism and liberalism can never die. This new era of unprecedented technological progress doubts will be cast on certainties that have stood since immemorial. Far away across the briny foam, the riches of Asia and Africa beckon. Maestro, choose your instruments and let music play. So, guys, yeah, it gives a pretty good introduction to the world at hand in 1836. So France is still a great power, and it still has lots of manpower, especially within Western Europe. Prussia has gained a lot from the wars in Napoleon, and it will eventually create what was known as the German Empire. Austria is one of those empires that will shrink. The Ottoman Empire is the sick man of Europe, will of course shrink as well. And Russia, well, let's just say that after the First World War, I guess their interpretation of the world and their standing within the world changes very much following the First World War. And over here we see the United States is well, still not the United States we see. It's still growing. They have Texas is still a thing, the Texas Republic, and the U.S. is still expanding west. And of course, they're dealing with slavery problems. Mexico still a big power, but we'll see how long they hold on to those western states for those territories for. So the United States will be coming in there. But let's I think we should just dive into the game and see what's going on. So we are playing as Spain, and we'll dive in. There we go. Okay, beautiful music. So right now we are Spain. Let's go to the political map mode. Coolio. This is Spain in 1836. So actually, I want to lower the music a little bit more. I want to hear myself talk. Audio. There we go. Cool. So we have Spain here. Right now it is still a great power. Within this game, great powers allow you to, well, they gave you some certain, I guess, abilities that are not a great power. And basically great power is based on how much prestige, industry, military. I'm not going to give like a total like breakdown of how to play the game. Because that's not what I'm trying to do. But I'll just maybe explain a couple things that kind of relate to the history of Spain and also Europe and the world at large. So one of the things about this game, especially the 19th century, is industry and the technological leaps, especially in different sciences, and also maybe culture a little bit, that Europe goes through during this time. So one thing we want to do as our nation is we want to industrialize, and as of now, we have absolutely no factories. So a couple ways I'm going to try to relieve that. But with factories, basically allow you, well, in general, I mean, factories allows you to produce things at a lot faster rate, and lets you produce, a lot more complex things that you couldn't really do by hand, because machinery allows you to do those things. So that's one thing we also want to get started on. But we can just look at Spain right now. Spain, let's go to here. Spain has, we should look at, here we go. So right now Spain has a population of 4.2 million, which is one of the lowest within Europe. So if you go to like a nation like France, France has a population of 8 million, so that's like double what Spain has. And Russia has a very large population. They have a population of 15.34 million. And in terms of literacy, so people can read, let's see if we can find that map mode. Only 13% of our population can actually read. So we need to increase that because other nations are going to have a lot more literacy than us. And the more literacy you have in your nation, well, the more you can actually technologically advance. And that is also true within, our history and then just general like way in which knowledge is increased for the nation technology-wise. Was one of the reasons why we have public schooling within the United States and lots of other countries around the world. So we really need to get that literacy up if we want to keep up with the other nations around us in terms of technology. And we also need to increase that population because we need people to basically do things, factories, armies, things of that nature. So let's kind of dive in a little bit more and deal with our first issue. So one of the things that really plagued Spain, especially in the 1830s or in the early 19th century, was the many civil wars that would occur, known as the Carlist Wars. Mainly because there was two. I'll try to break it down as easily as I can, but essentially what happened is that following the Peninsular War, which was when France invaded Spain during the Napoleonic Wars, basically Napoleon invaded Spain, but Spain fought back savagely, and through guerrilla war a combination of guerrilla warfare, British help, and Napoleon's fall from power, especially after his invasion of 1812 and Waterloo. Well, not Waterloo. Before that, Spain was able to gain their independence. But what happened is that, interesting enough, in 1812, Spain actually produced a constitution, which is very similar to what we had in the United States and also in the UK, a constitutional monarchy. The only thing is that that constitutional monarchy only lasted until about 1814, and then basically what happened after 1813. Maybe like a year after that, the king, Ferdinand VII, he basically overturned that constitution and made it back into a absolute monarchy. In the 1820s, began a revival of the constitutional element, and pretty much after that, Spain would become a pretty much a constitutional monarchy. The only thing is that there are certain parts of the Bourbons who kind of did not like that idea, and there's known as, well, I guess I think it was I forget the person's name, but yeah, a bunch of other Bourbon like a part of the Bourbon family who did not like that and wanted to return to a basically a absolute monarchy. And that happened several times throughout the 19th century within Spain, and really made it difficult for them to do things. So this is the Carlist rebels. So these are people who are currently attacking us. So within history, I mean, the Carlists didn't win. There's a couple things I kind of want to do. So I've been looking online for some of these things, for some of the gameplay on Spain, sorry. And there's a couple things I could do. I can either defeat them, which would be easy. But the only thing is that Carlos will come back, and it'll make it really hard for me to develop my nation. I could let them win, and I will now create an absolute monarchy, and that gives me a lot of bonuses, actually. One of the good things about it is that I can actually I can change the political nature of, because there's only one upper house, so like a Congress, essentially. And I can actually, as king, absolute monarch, actually change the makeup of that party and allow me to build like factories and things of that nature through a reactionary. So you can look here. I can hold an election, and holding elections kind of suck if I want to force things to go through. I mean, look at the Soviets through their 5-year plan and all that stuff, how they're able to industrialize fairly quickly, and China for that matter. But of course, at the expense of their peoples. I'm not going to do the exact same thing, but I think we can do something similar to help us industrialize a lot quicker and do things a lot more faster to react to them. Plus, sometimes the people just don't know what they want or what they need, or both. So we have a king who does that, who's appointed by God. Yeah, so I think another thing I want to touch on is Spain and its colonial holdings. So as of now, Spain only holds Spanish West Morocco. They own Cuba. They owned the West Indies, so Puerto Rico. And they also own the Philippines. Over here. So we have somewhat of a global empire, which is pretty good. So the first thing we really need to do is see how we're going to do with these rebels. So I think what I am going to do is I think we are going to go absolute monarchy. So what I'm going to do is allow them to take Madrid, and then we can kind of go on from there. Because, we need that. Because the Republic screw everything up. So let's do that right now. Hopefully they don't attack me. Let's speed the game up a bit. Take the territories. Let's speed this game up a little more. So Prussia wants military access. Sure. Who are they fighting? Who are you guys fighting? What's going on? Wars. They're fighting the Dutch restoration of the Belgian provinces. Nah. No. No pressure. You cannot come into Spain. I don't know why you would need to. So let's let these Carlos rebels win. Oh, I'm sorry. We actually need to research things. So one thing we need to start researching. I heard that we need to get medicine going. So to keep our people alive. So we're gonna do that. So right now, the Queen Victoria was appointed in 1838. Queen Victoria, and which is the game named after. The show is actually pretty decent. At first, I was like, I don't know. There's certain things I thought kind of were unhistorical, but it's a well-produced show. I really did like it. Yep. War between France and the Netherlands. Ooh, France is getting more involved. It's pretty cool. Let's go with. Let's go with. Yeah. Let's get some taxes going because we need that money. Money. So we're out of money. Actually. Yep. The Carlos rebels win. King. The Carlos rebels have enforced their demands. No voting. Cool. Meetings out loud. Yes. Coolio. Horror, but good for us. Okay, so now we have the Carlos who have won the war. So now we are a monarchy again, because liberalism is something that will not be tolerated within Spain. Okay, so now we kind of have our bases down. I think it's good for us to start now expanding now. So we want to start building some factories. So we're going to start doing that. We also need some money to do that. So one of the first things I want to do is get our taxes up. So the middle people are not getting none of their needs. So let's get their needs going. Let's tax the rich a little bit. Let's tax the poor. Tax the poor a bit. Tax the poor a bit. And right there. So we get our terrace up because we need some money. Good. Okay. Algeria. No, I do not want to be friends with you. So in terms of the geopolitical picture, or at least the local political picture, our international policy, I guess you can say, what I'm going to employ here, is I want to be friends with France for now. Because we've always been friends. Except for that one time when Napoleon came in and conquered and murdered a lot of our citizens. But, except for that, there was also the Spanish War of Secession in the 1700s. But every time, except for that, those two times, our relations have been cool. So let's keep being cool. Yes. And I don't know who else I should be friends with. Well, definitely not these guys, because they're going to be my targets. So, UK maybe? Austria maybe? I don't know. But for now, France. And I think that's it. Okay, well let's look at my paper. So one of the things that's cool about this game is that they give you a paper to kind of look at and see, which is pretty cool. So, coolio. And also there's little things there. So let's get our taxes up. And let's see how we can do this. So I can set a national focus on certain places. So let's go to Madrid and let's set... let's promote craftsmen. And craftsmen allow us to do our factories a lot better. And then laborers are more for, if I could just go on and scroll over them. Current craftsmen. Yes. Okay, so let's see. Workers, I believe. Farmers. I think laborers kind of like dig out coal and things of that nature. So let's get more craftsmen. Okay, we got craftsmen over here. Let's get craftsmen going so we can get those factories up. Let's look at our budget a little bit more. We're still burning through money. Let's set our stockpiles down. No, let's keep that up. Okay, yep. And let's set this to middle. I don't think we're gonna go to war anytime soon. So, that means our our what's it called, our morale, or for our soldiers to go down, but we will be building up our tax revenue. So you guys see there, we're kind of going up for a little bit now. So start building some factories. So we're getting a lot of money now. Let's lower that speed a bit. Politics. View all parties. Yep. So now we should be able to build factories. Cool. Let's see. Artillery, we need steel and explosives. So let's build one. We need... What is this? Oh, fertilizer. Okay. So, fertilizer vector then? We need sulfur. So let's actually see what our nation has in terms of its production values. So let's see what we have some steel, which is cool. We got some coal. We're gonna need some coal for our industry. We have lots of grain, which will be good for making bread and also just things of that nature. That's cool. And I think what I want to do is attack Portugal. So let's hope that they're not actually allied with anybody. They're Portugal, 1.89 million, but they have some decent sized territories we can take. They are not allied with anybody, it seems, which is good. But not declared war just yet. Let's get our industry up and everything, and then we can start looking at declaring war and all those good things. So do we have any? Let's see what else we need. Let's look at our. Let's go here. Furniture, that will be for. This is for like more like general needs for peoples. Lumber mill. Cement. We need some cement. Let's go to the place where they have cement. And we need coal, so. Okay, let's go here. We'll just build a cement factory. Cement factory, yep. Let's build. Sweet, we got cement factory going. Let's build over here. Let's build a. Okay, so Covila, 146,000. That's 81,000 people. 40,000. I saw 400,000. So Villarreal and Covila we could places to get. They're not allied with anybody as of yet. So you can actually take those areas. Can we build any troops out? Let's see. Build an army. They will need. So we need. To build infantry, we need guns. We also need. How will that take? There's a cab too. We can't go there. Leipzig. No, Philippines. So we need. What's this? Wine, canned food, and guns. Does it say how long it can take? I don't know. Let's see if it's gonna get built. It is being built. That is cool. We can't build an artillery. Or some cav. No. Irregulars, no. We'll some infantry. We'll build one infantry unit. So we can actually look at brigades. How many brigades does Portugal have? Portugal has... UK has what? Brigades? 90 brigades. Damn. Let's see, Portugal serves the P. Go Portugal. Portugal has 11 brigades. This is barely any. And Spain, where are we at? Spain has a lot more. We have 26 brigades. And most of them are here. So I'm thinking that a war against Portugal would actually be very helpful right now, because we can use some of the rich populated areas like Corvila and Marine Bay would also be cool too, to take these territories. Or Corvila and Oporto would be good for us. So let's see if we can actually get a diplomacy. Let's do justify war, acquire state. It'll take 308 days, so let's actually get that going. Okay. So now we have hopefully a war against them, take some of those territories. So yeah, that's cool. Let's see if we can build more factory. So one thing I am going to do actually right now is I'm going to increase our education budget a little bit. Get some of those people nice and educated. Artisans, laborers, what's over here actually? We go to the infrastructure, coal, steel. So let's actually build a steel factory there. Cool. I'm building something there. So sweet. Only thing is that we can actually build like lots of factories. Well, because we don't have the type of people who are able to do it. We have a lot of farmers, which are good for farming, and laborers good for laboring. But everything except for that is not really helpful. So, yeah. The Portuguese menace. As everyone knows, Portugal is out to get us. It's only a matter of time before they launch an unprovoked attack. It's only reasonable that we take steps to preemptively defend ourselves. As luck would have it, it's reported detailing the nefarious schemes have been recently leaked to the press. The public have rallied to our cause. So we get a possibility exposition speed. So let's actually see how quickly we'll get that. We will have it war justification in 119 days. I think it's safe to say we can start putting our army back to full throttle here a little bit. Oh, that's unfortunate. So what we don't want to do is get lots of infamy, because, well, if we get lots of infamy, then we'll have the international community come in and stop what we're doing. So we do not want to do that. We want that to happen. We're kind of over our military thingamajig. That's not really cool. So we have one factory built. I believe find it in Granada, I believe. Granada. If we go to Granada, Granada, they have that thing going. So we get some employees there. That'd be super awesome. Okay, so we should get our armies back to full throttle. So I'm going to start doing that right now. Spain says, in a rather embarrassing blunder, several soldiers in uniform of Portugal have been caught while trying to sneak across the border. While rumors about their task to stage a border incident just justify our invasion are totally unfounded, it would be wise never revoke any fresh fuel for the fire right now. Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to increase my soldiers' readiness. So hopefully that gets them ready to take on the Ethiopians we're fighting right now. I wonder if like this was Victoria. Like, wonder what Victoria would think about me. Does that know who the king is? It just says king. Interesting. So our budget's pretty good. Let's see. Let's build another factory somewhere. Okay. So we're moving up right now. Let's not send it to the same place. Okay, so, why are you guys doing that? You guys take that side. You guys take that side. Okay, cool. And I think you can also raise mobilization. Mobilize up to 130 units. I don't think we'll need that much because we outnumber them. But if we need to, I could mobilize. So the troops are ready to go. So whenever the word is sent, we will go. The immense tension has caused an internal crisis in Posen. We have no concerns. This will be resolved in a civilized way. Okay, good to know. Let's check on the war justification. I think we have a war justification now. You should have told me. Diplomacy. Can we declare... We cannot justify war. What happened? Casus Belli. Expires 17th October 1841. You cannot declare war... Is it because we're in a crisis? Oh, this is not good. Why can I not declare war? Oh, you cannot declare war or be declared at war upon if you are involved in a crisis.
Bruh.
That's why. So it seems like we cannot declare war because, well, you had to get involved in a thing and jig. So let's hope this thing gets resolved soon because this thing is about to run out. Okay, good. Now we can declare war on the 18 units. So I think we can crush that pretty easily. So I'm going to wait a little bit, let this navy get up to a certain degree. Let's hope that these guys have allied with the British. Well, we could have done it quicker, except... So it seems like we cannot declare war against Portugal anymore. But... we can maybe take... well, that just doesn't help. That just does not help at all. Well, what's their population like? Sorry. Well, they have some peoples. Yeah, let's declare war on Portugal. Morocco, I mean. We cannot... Sure. We need a war. We need a war to rally the boys. So I could have declared war, except seems like they decided out of the 19th. It's unfortunate. Well, we could take 6 of them. Maybe. They're allied with a whole bunch of people, so that's like helpless. Cool. So, I'm gonna start moving my troops in position. What's the fire limit? 50. Okay. So move my troops over there. Okay. Board the ship. Pretty decent sized army for us to attack with. Let's check the supply limit on these bad boys. 20, 10, 20, 10, 20, 20, 20, 25. Okay, so in the next episode, guys, we're gonna take on Morocco and start to build Spanish positions in North Africa. So just kind of recap kind of what's happened. So basically, Spain allowed, we allowed the Carlists to win, so now we have a absolute monarchy, and we are starting to build up our factories. So we have one factory here doing things. Let's check on it quickly. Sorry, let's check on our factories real quickly. Yeah, still trying to get people in. But hopefully you get craftsmen going there. Build an ammunition factory in Castilla, Leon ammunition factory. Build a gun factory here, so that's good. And hopefully, slowly but surely, we'll start to get people in there. So we're spending a lot of money. So what I'm going to do right now is actually going to bring down our, what's it called? Our tariffs down, so hopefully we can buy in more things from outside to allow factories to, I guess, build their items and sell it abroad. And I'm also going to declare war on Portugal right now and hopefully take them out. Because right now they don't really have that large of an army, to be fair. They have about, what, 12,000 soldiers? And I'm bringing like 30. I have 26 brigades. Total. And I got about, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm actually gonna give them one more cannon actually before we go. Actually, don't have that. They don't have that cannon. We should probably get a cannon for them. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'll see you guys next one. Bye.